Linked Discourses, 19.1. Chapter 1. A Skeleton. So I have heard. In this collection, a monk with psychic power sees beings invisible to the normal eye who are suffering due to their bad deeds in past lives. The Buddha confirms the vision and explains the reason why they are experiencing that particular form of suffering. In each case, the punishment fits the crime, although it is not always obvious how, so I note the connections. At one time, the Buddha was staying near Rajagaha in the bamboo grove, the squirrels' feeding ground. Now, at that time, Venerable Mark and Venerable Mahamoggallana were staying on the Vulture's Peak mountain. Lakana, Mark, appears only here and in the corresponding passage at Bupj 49.1.1. He sees the marks by which the results of deeds are manifest, a topic elsewhere treated under the marks of a great man, DN 30. I translate the name to emphasize its artifice. Then Mahamoggallana robed up in the morning, and taking his bowl and robe, went to Mark and said to him, "Come, Reverend Mark, let's enter Rajagaha for alms." "Yes, Reverend," Mark replied. As Mahamoggallana was descending from Vulture's Peak mountain, he smiled at a certain spot. So Lakana said to Mahamoggallana, "What is the cause, Reverend Moggallana? What is the reason you smiled?" "Reverend Mark, it's the wrong time for this question. Ask me when we're in the Buddha's presence." Then Mark and Mahamoggallana wandered for alms in Rajagaha. After the meal, on their return from alms round, they went to the Buddha, bowed, and sat down to one side. Mark said to Mahamoggallana, "Just now, as Mahamoggallana was descending from Vulture's Peak mountain, he smiled at a certain spot. What is the cause, Reverend Moggallana? What is the reason you smiled?" "Just now, Reverend, as I was descending from Vulture's Peak mountain, I saw a skeleton flying through the air. Vultures, crows, and hawks kept chasing it, pecking, clawing, and stabbing it in the ribs. The verbs here are uncertain and readings vary considerably. See MN 54:16.1 and compare Rig Veda 6:46-14, where horse racers compete like birds over raw flesh. As it screeched in pain, it occurred to me, oh Lord, how incredible, how amazing, that there can be such a sentient being, such a spirit. Here yaka is used as a generic term for spirit, entity, such an incarnation. Then the Buddha said to the mendicants, "Mendicants, there are disciples who live full of vision and knowledge, since a disciple knows, sees, and witnesses such a thing. Formerly, I too saw that being, but I did not speak of it. For if I had spoken of it, others would not have believed me, which would be for their lasting harm and suffering. That being used to be a cattle butcher right here in Rajagaha. As a butcher, he is treated like a piece of meat, MN 54:16.1. The same applies to the next three discourses. As a result of that deed, he burned in hell for many years, many hundreds, many thousands, many hundreds of thousands of years. Now he experiences the residual result of that deed in such an incarnation." 19.2. Chapter 1. A Piece of Meat. "Just now, Reverend, as I was descending from Vulture's Peak mountain, I saw a scrap of meat flying through the air. Vultures, crows, and hawks kept chasing it, pecking and clawing as it screeched in pain." That being used to be a cattle butcher right here in Rajagaha. 19.12. Chapter 2. A Dung Eater. "Just now, Reverend, as I was descending from Vulture's Peak mountain, I saw a man sunk in a sewer, eating dung with both hands." That being used to be a nasty Brahmin right here in Rajagaha. Brahmins were obsessed with purity of food. In the time of the Buddha Kassapa's dispensation, he invited the Sangha of mendicants for a meal. He filled a trough with dung and said, "Donya, trough, is used for such things as a feeding trough for dogs or pigs, MN 93:11.7, or a casket for a corpse, DN 16:6.17.6. My good men, eat as much as you like, and take what's left." 19.15. A Sweltering Woman. "Just now, Reverend, As I was descending from Vulture's Peak Mountain, I saw a scorched woman, sooty and sweaty, flying through the air as she screamed in pain. That woman used to be the king of Kalinga's chief queen. She was of jealous nature and poured a brazier of hot coals over her co-wife. 19.16. A headless trunk. Just now, Reverend, as I was descending from Vulture's Peak Mountain, I saw a headless trunk flying through the air. Its eyes and mouth were on its chest. Vultures, crows, and hawks kept chasing it, pecking and clawing as it screamed in pain. That being used to be an executioner named Taker right here in Rajagaha. He would obviously decapitate his victims for his name.